What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is here. We're talking all things Leeds United. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I was going to do a video in regards to the day I had filming for the home shirt. I was just going to record it, but I thought I'd go live and just, if anybody's got any comments or questions, I can try and answer them if I can. And yeah, we're going to talk about a couple of rumors as well, mainly the Conor Gallagher one. And yeah, man, and talk about the Leeds United PR thing. See how you're feeling about it. Should celebrities get free shirts? We'll get into that also. So yeah, man, big up to everybody. And of course, if you're watching the replay, leave your comments as well about what you're thinking about the new shirt and everything else like that, man. We're gonna just keep it moving, man. What's going on, Peter, man? My guy. All good, man. All good. Just glad it's a cooler day today. You know what I'm saying? It's been a nightmare all week long. So yeah, man. What shall I start now? Just give it another minute. Let a few more people come through. And of course, I mean, I'll answer what I can in regards to the ADIDAS home shoot. Obviously, I can't say a whole lot in regards to like private conversations and everything, but you know, I'll give you about what happened in regards to getting selected or whatever it may be. I'll try and give you as much details as possible. Come on, Stevie. Oh, Liverpool fan. Yeah. Hey, did you see Rafinha and the new threads? I thought he was coming to you. Come on, Ryan. Cavani shirt. Yeah. Are you happy about that Ali new contract? What's going on? Let me know how you're feeling about that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen, my content will be when I've got something to talk about. Like, I'm not gonna just upload for the sake of uploading. That's not what I'm really about. You know, as the new season comes up, you're gonna see more content, of course. But in the off season, there's not really much to talk about. You know, it's just like rumors and hearsay and things made up. And yeah, I'm not really about that. You know, I don't really find that kind of stuff interesting. So if it don't interest me, I can't make it interesting for you. So I can pretend, but I don't want to do that on here. So when you get content, you know it's gonna be good. So let's have a look. Bandy, shout out Bandy. Most people are raving about the shirt. However, I saw somebody wearing a shirt and I'm not a fan. The cut seems to be high up at the sleeves and shoulders. Okay. Jared Bowen, better than Rafinha. Come on now. And listen, Jared Bowen, that's no disrespect to Jared Bowen, but because I said from streams and podcasts a long time ago when Jared Bowen was still at Hull City that a Premier League team should come in and take him. And everybody on the street, it's funny when you're a Championship fan, because I was a Championship fan at the time with Leeds. When you're a fan talking about Premier League and who can do it in the Premier League, these Premier League fans never believe you, man. They think that James McCarthy and James McCarthy are the be all and end all of the Premier League. But when I said from time Jared Bowen could adapt to the Premier League, and he's proven me right, man. So West Ham, big up to them because they got that one completely right, as they will do with Ben Rama as well. He's going to come through with this season for sure. Look at this guy, Rafinha to United. All right, man. You guys have just spent 70-odd million on Sancho, man. You don't need Rafinha, okay? Get ready. Well, listen, we'll have a preview of that game, of the opening game of the season. I've had Saeed on here before. I've had Roger Giggs on before. You might get ready for a little like 2006 DX reunion if all goes well. So look out for that piece of content coming through because it's going to be good. It's going to be very, very good if we can get it done. So I won't say too much now, just in case I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good preview. Trust me. Yeah, man. Listen, I could easily come on here every day and talk about things that we've read and seen and everything like that. It works for some people. It don't work for me. Like, I can't take rumors out of the thin air and start getting all excited or interested about it because it don't interest me. I'm going to talk about a rumor today because a reputable source, Phil Hay, talked about it. And, you know, we trust Phil Hay. He's been a beacon of the Leeds United community for years and years. So, and you can kind of see with the player that we're linked with in Conor Gallagher that, yeah, Bielsa would probably interest him, but we'll get into that as well. Shout out to my Canadian man here, Brendan. I hope you fix that FPL team though, bro. I really do. I hope you fixed it, man. I don't want to see you come in like the 8 millions, okay? Bamford, Dallas, or Rodrigo. Probably Dallas, right? Probably Stuart Dallas. I would say so. Yeah. You know what? I said that in a tweet. I was watching the Brazil games and especially the final. I saw Richarlison and some other geezers on that team, and I just could not believe that Rafinha wasn't in that team. Now, I'm glad he's not going to the Olympics. I'm more than happy with that. But yeah, he should easily have been in that Brazil team. Like, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He levels above a lot of those players. Levels above. No, I'm not running an FPL league. I'm a part of FPL leagues, but I'm not running one this year. Probably will next season. But if anyone's got any FPL codes, I'll happily join your league and wash you all. So yeah. Yeah. Peter, shout out to you. Yeah, that's what it is. He's got. It's like a lot of international managers, and once they get used to a certain team, they get used to certain players, they find it hard to bring in someone new. But you know, no bias at all. Trust me, I've got eyes. Rafinha is levels above a lot of those Brazilian players, man. Levels above. Shouldn't. It's not even a question, man. All right. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. Right. So let's have a look. Right. Okay. Right. So, I've got a Canadian guy here, which is cool. Where else is everyone watching from? If you want to let me know where you're watching from. So I'm gonna talk about the yeah. Let me just get in this one here. Yeah, this is it, man. Listen, I tell people all the time about players who are ready to step up. I actually said about Ivan Toney. Now, I don't know if Ivan Toney is going to do it this season, but I did say when he was available at Peterborough for what, 8 million. I was thinking, how is a team in the Premier League not taking a chance on this guy? Like, how is Sheffield United? How is West Brom? There's a host of teams that could have spent 8 million on Ivan Toney and seen what he could do. But there's always this thing about players in League One and the Championship that some teams, they just can't do it. They think, nah, I think, you know what? I think I'll go and spend it on that La Liga 2 Oscar Lopez for 15 million instead. And then eventually that player gets loaned out and then out the door for 2 million 2 years later. They just find it hard to take a chance on him. And now Ivan Toney, if you're looking to buy him now, Brentford are looking for more than an Ali Watkins fee. That's the problem. Sometimes teams miss out that step and then have to then buy that player for a premium price. It happened, and it's happening with James Maddison too now. If you're looking at him, he's probably going to cost around, 50, 60 million, when somebody could have took him off Norwich's hands for the price Leicester got. But that's what it is. And you know what? I've got to give Crystal Palace a bit of game here, man, because under Roy Hodgson, boy, they've been so boring. They're buying those players like MacArthur, Mihailovic, McCarthy, all these dead, dry ballers. But you know what? They're going in a new direction now. They got Gay, who I saw last season for Swansea. He was there on loan. I can see why Crystal Palace paid the money. The guy is a class centre-back, and it also shows you the depth that Chelsea have got there. It's just ridiculous, yeah? But Crystal Palace are moving into a new direction. They're also linked with Conor Gallagher. See, I like what Crystal Palace are trying to do. Even if it doesn't work, at least they're making moves to get out of that stale state. I think they're not even going to offer Gary Cahill a new contract. And it's quite bad now because every time I see Conor Gallagher, Gary Cahill now, I think of Rafinha just spinning him to death, which is not fair because he's done a lot in his career. But that's the first image I think of right now. Let me just see. Yeah, I've seen that many times from Liverpool fans. I've seen it many times. Static, big up Static in the building. Did I miss it? Let me just go back. Yep, got you now. How are you doing? Well, enjoy summer. Yep, Bowen. Yep, thank you. Yep. Trust me though, when you're a championship fan though on a Premier League podcast, whew, it is hard to convince people that these players can step up. But yeah, man, listen, let me get into the whole kit thing, yeah. So it was all very, very quick. Um, it was all very quick. When I got the email, it was probably the space of 4 days between the email and the actual going to Ellen Road and doing the whole thing. And no lie, when I first got the email, I thought it was a hoax. Not gonna lie, and as anyone would, the email just looks like, yeah, all right, yeah, of course you want me to come down, sure you do, yeah. But you know what? And I was saying it to my partner who I went down with. I was like, you know what? I can see how old people get scammed by these phone things. I can see why it happens now because even though I had a little bit of doubt in my head, I still went. I still went to Leeds. I said, you know what? If it is a prank, fair play to the hoaxers. I'll take this. I'll take this L and I'll move on. You know what I mean? So, I still went down. But I communicated with the guy involved. I looked him up on the internet. I mean, that's, I'm sure anyone can make a profile, but it all looked legit to me. And it was just coming out of lockdown, man. So it was very, very fresh. And this has been months in the making. And I couldn't tell anybody. Could not tell a soul. I didn't tell anyone, and it was tough, man. I really wanted just to tell people, hey, this thing's going to be coming out, man. It's going to be heavy and everything, but you really cannot say anything. They keep everything very, very close to their chest, very, very close to their chest. So yeah, we were communicating through the week. I had to go to Leeds, go to Ellen Road, and it was so cool being back in Ellen Road. It was empty, but it was so good being back in there, man. It was it's a good atmosphere, even when it's empty. You just feel it. Walked around the stadium, through some of the suites there and everything else like that. And I've got to say, big shout out to the Leeds United staff and the ADIDAS staff there, because it was so professional. Like for any fan that gets involved with the club, you cannot ask for any more than what I had on that day. It was just super professional. Everything was just running so smoothly. Every team knew what they were doing. And yeah, man, it was mad. Let me just get this up. Yeah. And I was absolutely gassed all day long. Like all week, I was kind of nervous just in case it was a hoax. But when it actually came, yeah, it was amazing. And I saw a comment online. I cannot remember who said it, and it's so good to see clubs get content creators involved and everything else like that. And it is very cool. It's very good if you can do it, because I've said on this channel many times, I've never ever set out to actually do anything with the club, because I've always thought that my content it doesn't play up to Leeds United in that way. Like, if anything's going good, I'm going to say it. But if I don't agree with something, I'm going to also say that too. And you guys know that. And that's what I was saying to the guy as well. I was like, yeah, it's really cool how you guys have still brought me in, even though I don't, play the game as it is. There's plenty of people that do play the game, and it's, painfully obvious that they play the game. I don't do that. And they still had me in here. And yeah, man, it was just so cool. A lot of the conversations we're going to keep private though, because, but it was about Leeds just reaching out and expanding the brand and just moving forward with what's going on. And that's a lot with what's going on with the shirts being sent out to random celebrities. And we'll talk about that in a bit. Let me just say that. Yeah. I mean, listen, no lie at all, man. It was an absolute honor you know, if I never do anything else in this football game, I can say that I've done that. I've worked with Leeds United and ADIDAS on a home kit launch. You know, that I can say that, and you know, it doesn't get much better than that for me right now. You know, let's have a look. Look at like who might be fans. Facts, man. It's better to involve fans in the kit launches instead of celebs who might be fans. Yeah, and you could see it as well, man. You could see that there was just a buzz around the place, man. The whole crew was just so cool. Like I cannot tell you just how cool everything was. Couldn't have my phone on me, so I couldn't take pictures around the place. That's how hush hush everything is there. You really couldn't take pictures around. Yeah, man. And let me just scroll up to a comment, man. Let me just scroll up to a comment. Mark, are you no longer working with Rants? Look out for that. Look out for that. The band will be getting back together, but you know, even just a little private conversation with Rants, and you know, him talking about how the club have recognized, you know, the Mandem just doing their thing. It's huge, man, because we don't really get that kind of stuff. We really don't. And there's plenty of other content creators that could have used for this. There really is. There's a lot more popular than I am. But they use me, and again, just an absolute honor. Absolute honor. Yeah, and I'm gonna just say this here now. I cannot say anything about that. Cannot say anything about it. So this is the home kit only. So please don't overpower me with those questions. Yeah, I hope so too, man. I hope so too. It doesn't mean I'm going to be changing my content. If I think someone's had a stinker, you're going to hear about it. Don't worry about that. If we get panned by Man United 6-2 again, there'll be another one of those videos that I don't even remember what I said in that video. Yeah, but of course, I'd like to do something with the club in the future. But the whole thing is that I never set out to do that. Does that make sense? And I've said it on here before. I know I have. I've said that I won't compromise my opinions and myself in order just so that the club can notice me and use me for something. I'll never do that. So, yeah, man. Huge. Yeah, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, and the whole shoot, I think the shoot itself was no more than an hour, just going around the place, because of course they're going to do it in different places so they can clip whatever they want up. All very easy. That's why when you see me doing the pose where I'm looking behind, that's what was requested. So it wasn't me just looking behind to see if there was a bird behind me. That's what they were asking me to do. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything that you guys want to know in regards to it? I don't really know what else I can say in regards to the day. Always, man, always honest. You know, big up to you, Neil. I'll always be honest on this thing. If you ever see me playing up to this and doing things because it looks like what the club would want me to say, then I'm just going to kill this channel, because that's just not what I want to do. I've already been in jobs where you have to play by the rules and try and fit in and everything else like that. I'm not doing that on my own platform. No chance. No chance. And again, that's something that I appreciate from the club, that they don't expect me to do that either. So, and it's amazing. I will say this: it's amazing what the clubs do take a note of, and what they're watching, and just things that they notice, man. For any content creators out there, clubs notice you, man. Trust me on this. They little things. I'm not going to give like little details, but they notice little things and they hear things. There's always someone looking out, man. So just remember that. Absolutely, yo. Absolutely. If you're doing something that's not yourself, trust me, man, the mask will fall off eventually, and people will find out. People will find out that you're not being genuine. So, yeah. Tell us about the fit. Well, the fit for me, I don't have like slim fits. You know, I'm a big man, so slim fits isn't going to be for me. The fit for me was really nice. It was very roomy, but tight on the areas that I'm a big guy on. So it was a fine fit. If it was a slim fit that they tried to get me under with, I had to Photoshop it to death. So that was just not happening. But they had a whole range of sizes and everything else. It's a very cool shirt because I noticed when we went out just before it started raining on that day, the shirt was very, very giving, very, very cool fitting. Uh, you know, it wasn't a hot shirt. You know how some football shirts you can get really hot in that material. Now the materials is very, very good. Has anybody got the shirt just yet? Because it's been out a couple days now. Has anyone got the shirt yet? Let me know. Let me know what you think about the shirt for this season. No compromise. I hope so, man. I hope so. Yeah, man. I'm just showing you that I'm not a small guy, so just letting you know. Keeping it real, always, guys, always. Is that a Italian Leeds United thing? Yeah. Congratulations to Italy. Da, 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 da. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. So if I talk about now the kit in regards to celebrities them being sent out and this whole thing being an absolute it's been a bit of a nightmare, hasn't it? I mean, even Radrazani's come out and said they want to do better in terms of getting it out to the celebrities. Now, for me, I want to know your thoughts. Should celebrities get free shirts? Do you understand why they get free shirts? Let me know. Give me that in the comments. And if you're watching the not the live stream, if you're watching the video, let me know in the comments as well your thoughts on that. I'll give you my opinions on that right now. For me, I understand the whole celebrity getting free merchandise. I completely get it. Um, when I saw LL Cool J with it, I thought it was brilliant. When I saw Bon Jovi with it, I thought it was brilliant. When you give it to certain celebrities, you're getting a reach of people that would never ever see your club. You just wouldn't. Same with ice hockey. When I see people in Pittsburgh Penguin shirts that not really Penguins fans, but they'll wear it because the club have sent them one. It reaches a whole new audience. So I completely get it. What I don't get is when it's being sent to people that are publicly known not to be Leeds United fans. That's for me where it gets a little bit, I don't understand it. You know, when you're seeing a Bolton fan being sent a shirt, I can see why that would irk the fan base. When you see, it would be like if Stormzy got a shirt. Stormzy's a Man United fan. Why would we send him a Leeds United shirt? That wouldn't make sense, would it? But if you're sending it to people where you don't really know what club they support, no issues with that. You can do that all day long. It builds the brand, and that's what Leeds United is. And I know a lot of fans have a lot of problems with this now, but it was always going to be the case when you got back into the Premier League. Leeds United will become a bigger brand. That's what they're setting out to do. You've seen it with the American stuff, Rock Nation, everything else like that. It's going in the direction of we want to expand this club into a worldwide fan base, even bigger than it is. It is essential. Marketing, branding, you need it. Okay. So, but I understand when people are seeing David Myler with one. I didn't get that one, David Myler. Apparently, he's a big Twitcher gamer now. But what I remember from David Myler was that he used to play very well against us when he was at Hull City. So it was like, I don't really get the David Myler one. Okay. But then you're seeing other people, they're just giving the shirts away. And it's a good thing for some Leeds United fans because now you got a chance to win a free shirt, you know. But I mean, there was one person that I think it was David Myler. He gave it away the same day. Like he got it in the morning and said, I'll give it away by today at 8 o'clock. So yeah, I mean, I can see why some fans would get irked by it. But at the same time, let me just click this off here. At the same time, if the club was to go on their own accounts and say we're giving away 20 free shirts, all you have to do is retweet and everything else, like this post, whatever. There would be some fans that would say, hey, I deserve a free shirt. I've been to 300 away games. Hey, I deserve a free shirt. I've been supporting Leeds for 50 years. So in some ways, the club will never win in that sense. But I do get the whole thing in regards to celebrities that knowingly support other clubs getting a free shirt. And I think they'll sort that out like from next season, maybe even from the away kit launch. I think they'll probably get it, more right on that one in terms of getting it to celebrities that have no connection to proper football teams. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, Laura Wood's got one. She supports Arsenal. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I want. That's what I'm talking about. Peter. Yeah, I get why celebrities get them. It's a business at the end of the day, and it's an attempt to bring in more business. Absolutely. If you're looking at that and not agreeing with it, it's you're kind of trying to hold your club back. You're trying to make it just be this niche thing. And when you're in the Premier League, I mean, we was a big club anyway. Just think about the reach that we had and the viewing figures we were pulling in the Championship. We were a huge club anyway. Just add the Premier League to that, and we're in another stratosphere. And that's what the club are trying to do. They're really trying to make it, as big as possible. That's how you get it. That is how you get it. So yeah, I've got no issues with the whole celebrity thing. I think it's a good thing. You just got to get it right. That is all. That is all you have to do. So let me just get right. Okay. Absolutely, move with the times. And unfortunately, a few people have a bit of a problem with this. They have a bit of a problem with moving on. It's not going to be. It's not going to be we're going to sign a player for, £1 million and give him 5,000 a week. Things have moved on, man. It's like when I saw that Junior Firpo post, our new left back. What brand was it? I can't remember what brand it was, but it was a designer brand, and you could see, some of the more old school people. This isn't Leeds. We don't show off designer clothes. But the thing was, I said this last year when we was linked with Ben Rama, and he did that whole birthday video. I didn't understand the backlash to it because Calvin Phillips has worn Balenciaga for a time. And I just thought it was because I don't think people really know that generation know that Balenciaga is such an expensive brand, because they never said anything about it. But then they was like really going in on Ben Rama in regards to his birthday video. It's like, this is what players do now. It's branding. When a player gets a shirt number, it's branding, Oh, and shout out because Rafinha, I think, has now moved to number 10. I think if you go on the Leeds United website, he's number 10. I don't usually care for that stuff, but it's only right that we've got a real number 10 now. Real number 10 in the building, in Rafinha. Beautiful. Love that. Yeah. Why fans kick off leagues wanting to grow, expand your revenue streams, which can get reinvested. And this is it. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because at the same time, those fans will then be asking to spend 20, 30 million on a player, but they want it to be within the same revenue streams that we've already got without expanding it. It just doesn't work. It really just doesn't work. Yeah, the Amazon doc, that's it as well, man. A few years must have helped your clubs reach too. Yeah, and I think it helped connect people back with the club as well. I think I've said it all along. Since Bielsa, Radrizzani, and more so Bielsa have come in, the connection with the fans has just been back there. You got to remember, we was there with Bates, we was there with Chilino, man, and you couldn't feel any further away from the club. It was an absolute horror show. But under this guidance now, under this ownership, we feel connected again. And again, going back to me being a part of the campaign, that I don't think that's ever happening under Bates, under Chilino, under GFH. I don't think it's happening under those guys, but it's happening under these guys because they know that fans are the way forward. And, I don't think it happens under any other regime that we've had in recent times. So yeah, man, it's all about connecting the club. Does giving away shirts, gifting shirts, alienate people from the club? I would hope not. I would hope that people could just see the bigger picture and see that it's a necessity for the club to move forward and expand the fan base, because that's what we want to do. What people are forgetting is that 16 years out of the Premier League, we've lost a lot of like young kids coming up that aren't born in Leeds. You know, if they weren't born in Leeds, they've got no reason to support Leeds United. And I always go back to that comment on the kid, speaking of that Amazon duck, that young kid that said that Hull City were the biggest club in Yorkshire. It's because Hull City, in his lifetime, were the club that were in the Premier League for a couple of years, or relegated and go back, or whatever it was. We've lost a whole 16 years worth of fans. So it's about trying to get those back. It's trying to get those back with the football that we're playing now. It's about getting the younger kids now that see Leeds United in the Premier League and say, yeah, this is my club. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Success breeds more fans. Of course it does. It's natural. You're not going to, be a young kid, get into football and go and watch a bottom of the League Two team and say, you know what, I like this club. Unless there's like a specific reason. You're going to be drawn to a club that gives you a connection. So that's what it is. Yeah, we missed out on a lot of money. In all fairness, we missed out on a lot of money when we was last in the Prem too. Thanks, Mr. Ridgedale. Yeah, I'm on the same thing, Brendan. I said that as well. I think the video did scare them off, in all honesty, because it made him look like he was all about me. But you've seen it with Depay, you've seen it with Benzema. These guys, they know what they're doing in terms of that marketing. It doesn't mean they're a selfish player. It really doesn't. It just means that they're looking at their brand, and that's what footballers can do now. They've got the power to do that, and more power to them. More power to them. Let me just see now. Right, all right, yeah. Let's just talk about the Conor Gallagher link. Yeah. In regards to Conor Gallagher, there's a lot of opinion online that it just being a low with no obligation to buy is a bad thing. People don't really rate him that highly, etc., etc. Okay. Myself, I like what Conor Gallagher was doing when Bilic was at West Brom. I thought he was very, very effective box-to-box midfielder. But, in a West Brom team where they were playing poorly after Bilic left under Sam Allardyce, he kind of got lost in the shuffle. I can see why Bielsa would want this guy. He looks like a Bielsa kind of player. Very fit, very energetic, very much a team player. And I can see why. The issue of him being on loan isn't really an issue for me, because if we do get him, he'll no doubtly improve and go back to Chelsea a much better player. That's just what Bielsa does, and I trust Bielsa to do that with this player. But if he gets us to where we want to go, which I think is the European places, then I think it's a loan well spent. And if we don't get him back, I think we'll move on to someone different, or maybe the club looking at Lewis Bate as somebody that needs a year, and then we'll come into the first team. We don't know. So for me, the whole thing about it just being a loan doesn't scare me. What I would say, though, is that if he's coming in as a midfielder, does he get in ahead of Stuart Dallas? Not for me. Does he get in ahead of Calvin Phillips? Definitely not. So, but for me, it is about fleshing out the squad and giving us more options on our bench in terms of central midfielder. I mean, Matthias Klick, does he get in ahead of Klick? I don't know. I want to see what Klick does when he comes back, and has, I know he didn't really have a summer off because he went to the Euros with Poland, but I want to see him now just with a bit more freshness, see if he can get back the Matthias Klick that we know can get 5 to 10 goals easily and numerous assists. I need to see that Matthias Klick this season. So, but in regards to it being a loan, no issue. And yeah, Bandy, yeah, he will make him great. I will be honest, man. I saw this on Twitter. Somebody said you can't question or Bielsa. You just got to trust them. I don't believe in that. But what I will say is that I do trust Bielsa with a player like Conor Gallagher to make him better and fit into the team. I think Conor Gallagher would fit into Leeds United's team easily, whether he's coming off the bench or starting a game where we can rest somebody. I do think that he can do that. There's only certain players where I think that not even Bielsa could help him, and Harry Winks comes to mind straight away. I would be thinking, I don't know what Bielsa could do with this guy because he's just not good. But yeah, I can see why Conor Gallagher's wanted. And I can also see why Crystal Palace want him, as Crystal Palace are moving towards that more fluid system, which should be great to see now, as you know, after years of playing like 8 DMs and just stinking up the joint. So yeah, I'm if we did get Conor Gallagher, if he does decide to come to Leeds United, I'm with it. I'm with it. And if that's the only central midfielder we get in, would I be happy? I don't know, because it all depends. Because what else it is, yeah, is I'm expecting Rodrigo to have a bigger season, whether he's playing up front, whether he's dropping back into midfield. I'm expecting Rodrigo to have a much better year this year. I think now that if you can get his injury problems sorted, I know he was down with COVID as well, and I know what that's like as well. It can take you out like an absolute son of a something. So I think there's more to come from Rodrigo. I think Mateus Clicker's got something to prove next season. So I think even if Conor Gallagher is the one midfielder, I think that's doable, because I still think Stuart Dallas is first on that team sheet. I don't care where you put Stuart Dallas, he's in that team. You don't drop Stuart Dallas. So yeah, oh no, I'm gonna get yours. I'm gonna get that comment up in a minute. Yeah, let me just get this one first. Mark Campbell, shout out to you. A loan is a loan. We get the player for a season. They get to keep the player. Just like any transaction, there is a risk. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because just say Conor Gallagher was available for 20 million and it doesn't work out, then we're stuck with Conor Gallagher that we've paid 20 million for. This way, it works out both ways. I think it works out great for both. Chelsea get a player that will be improved and they'll probably sell on for an absolute fortune, as they do. And we get a player that will help us just get up a few places in the table, because we need it. You know, don't let our ninth place finish just make you forget that sometimes in a central midfield last season, you could drive buses through our central midfield. It wasn't good enough a lot of the time, especially when we didn't have Calvin Phillips playing. So, and you know, Calvin will miss some games through injuries just from his style of play. That's going to happen. So yeah, man, we do need some other options in there. And for me, Conor Gallagher. What are you guys saying, man? What are you saying about Conor Gallagher? Because like I say, I thought he was doing very well under Bilic at West Brom. I thought he did very well. But obviously West Brom weren't good at all in the second half of the season, especially. And it's hard to stand out in a team like that. It really is. Brendan, I'm so down with Gallagher without the option to buy benefits both parties. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the whole thing in regards to needing to own a player, I understand it, but you don't need to own everybody. You know, Bayern Munich, you know, I'm taking a very extreme example here, but they've loaned players in order, and they've won the Champions League with them. You don't have to own them outright. You just need to get a player that's motivated, got something to prove. And let's face it, our recruitment team in Victor or Bielsa, they'll make sure of all of that before the player signs. They'll talk to the player and make sure they know what is expected of them at the club. So we shouldn't worry about that in those terms. We really shouldn't. And in regards to the backup goalkeeper, hold on, before I move on, let me just get this up from Bandy. This guy, man, this guy. If we don't win the title this season, it will be a massive disappointment. Sergeant Wilco did it in his second season, the big time. Expect us to be champions. We have all that we need. Top 4 easy. All right, Bandy. All right, what you sipping, Bandy? What's going on over there, yeah? You good? Are you cool? I hope you're all right there, Bandy, man. Luke, shout out to Luke. I must say I'm shocked Rafinha stayed. I was certain he would have left us to Liverpool. Listen, if Liverpool had the cash and they could offer Rafinha what he wanted, maybe he would have gone. Maybe. We won't know, because Liverpool don't have the money. And the arrogance, the arrogance in some of their fans, just as a matter of fact, saying that Rafinha was gone. Just like that, you know. And I mentioned it on another show on here. It's just so funny how they just thought that Rafinha was there. And now they're linked with Jarrod Bowen now. So that just shows you exactly where Liverpool are in the financial state they're in. That they would not be able to afford the outlay of what we would want for Rafinha. No chance at all. No chance at all. Mateus Pereira, for the price that he's available, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't taken him yet. I hear he's available for 15 million. 15 million for Mateus Pereira, that is an absolute bargain. If it doesn't work out, that's quite a cheap mistake to make. But I don't think it would be a mistake because, I said about the second half of the season for West Brom, he stood out like a sore thumb because he was carrying them on his back. Very, very good player. I just don't know if we need him right now. I'm liking the look of the potential left side of Firpo and Harrison. I think that's going to be a nice little link up. Those two look like they're working well together already in training. Look like they're building up an understanding. And yeah, and that's another thing as well. We've improved our left back. Bandy's talking about we've got everything we need. We definitely improved our left back area in that sense. Alioski is free to go where he wants to go. I don't know if he signed. I don't think he signed anywhere just yet. But I'm so glad that we've got Junior in. I didn't see much of him, but I do remember the game where he was marking out Mbappe in the Champions League, and he did tremendously. And he just couldn't get in because, Barcelona got this little player called Jordi Alba. Things like that happen. So for me, I'm looking forward to seeing a real stable left back at the club. We've done what we needed to do in that sense. In terms of, let me just go through this. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that if Madison does go, Mateus Pereira going to Leicester, definitely. In regards to our goalkeeper, I think we've linked with Clausen. I think he's coming over, the Norwegian kid. I've seen the one thing I want to pick up from that is that people say they want an experienced backup. I don't care who the backup is as long as they're just capable. Because for me, no one's displacing Meslier. Like nobody. He is our number one. So all it is about getting a number two in case Meslier gets hurt for whatever reason. It's very rare for a goalkeeper to get hurt. Touch wood. I've just probably jinxed the guy. But for me, it's all about just getting a goalkeeper that is a capable number two. Meslier should be playing in every game possible. And I'm talking about league and cup. Because I want a cup run this year, man. I want a cup run this year. I'm sick of us going out in the cup to absolute nobodies, man. I want a cup run this year. I would like to see us lift some more silverware. We won the championship trophy. Does that count? Are we counting that? Are we counting that? I'm counting it anyway because I saw them lift the trophy. I saw Bielsa lift the trophy, so I'm counting it. But Meslier is our number one. Number two don't matter. You can have an experienced guy, but we have Kiko Casilla, who has finally gone. Bye-bye, Kiko. But we had him as a backup. Did you feel comfortable with Kiko in goal? I didn't. So for me, AJ ain't really a problem in terms of goalkeeper. It's just about ability. And for me, Meslier is only going to get better. Only going to get better. So for me, it's all about just getting a capable backup. And I think they're doing that with Clausen, the young Norwegian kid, who incidentally I did sign on Football Manager myself. So I really should know more about him, but I just need a backup to Meslier. Yeah, man, armpits. I want to see armpits lifting either a Carabao Cup or the FA Cup this year. I'd love to see that, man. I think every Leeds fan would love to see that. Every Leeds fan. Bandy, it will be sad if we lose Tyler Costa. I'm surprised Costa's still here. I'll be honest. He was one that I thought was going to be out on loan with a view to a permanent move somewhere else. I really didn't expect Costa still to be here. Obviously, we don't know what the whole financial status is. It's not really our business. But you would assume that if Costa's still here, that there's probably no plans to get another winger in at the moment. I would probably say that's probably fair. So he's still an option here. I just don't. I think Costa could do with a move. I think he could do with just leaving. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked out for him in the Prem. He's had moments here and there, but it's not enough for me. We've got moments here and there with someone's mentioning Poveda. You can't have too many of those players that just have moments here and there, because then that's what makes you an inconsistent team. So for me, I think maybe Helder Costa could do with a move elsewhere. I don't know if he's been linked with anyone. But yeah, Tyler Roberts, I mean, he signed a new contract. He's obviously going to be a part of the first team. Tyler Roberts just needs some consistency, man, because if you remember on the match reaction videos I did on here. 1 week I'd be saying really good touches from Tyler Roberts. He looks like he's going to be a good passer of the ball. The next week he couldn't trap cement. And it would just be like that every single week. He needs to be way more consistent if he's going to be a fixture in the team. So obviously I don't think he's going to be loaned out. I think he's going to be in and around the first team, and we've got to see what he's about this season. I expect improvement, as I expect improvement from everybody. And let's talk about this whole second season syndrome that I've seen banded about, and the nerve of people saying that about Sheffield United. We're not Sheffield United, man. First of all, we've got better players than Sheffield United ever had. Okay. Second of all, Sheffield United started to fall away in the first season. But what happened is Corona hit and just stopped the whole thing. But they were falling away. All those players that were putting in the maximum effort started to just drop all between them. I'm talking about the Bulldogs. I'm talking about Ender Stevens. I'm talking about all those guys. They're nowhere near the quality of Stuart Dallas, Luke Ayling, and defense that we have. No way. So the whole comparison with Sheffield United to me is a lazy one, but I don't expect much from a lot of people in that regards. We've got better players than them than they ever had. So for me, the second season syndrome is that I'm looking up, man. I'm not looking down. I'm looking up. I think we're only going to get better this season. Let's have a look. Ooh, okay. Bandy, I think you're being funny, because that's another thing, man. Tyler Roberts didn't really play in the Euros. If he did play at all, I don't remember it. Yeah, they did. They did some terrible, terrible business. We haven't done that. We haven't spent 25 million on a Liverpool youngster just because they're from Liverpool. We haven't done that. We haven't spent 18 million on a poor goalkeeper like Ramsdale, who incidentally could be going for 32 million to Arsenal, which is absolutely crazy. But they did some terrible, terrible business, and they didn't strengthen in areas that they needed to strengthen. In fact, when they made that triple signing, those signings weren't improving the first 11. In fact, you know what? I tell you about Jayden Bogle is better than George Baldock, easy. But they didn't make signings that make you think, wow, Sheffield United mean business. They had like 5-6 strikers on the books, and none of them scored more than 7 goals. I mean, you're not going to do nothing with that. And hopefully we get that from Bamford, where it's just straight ahead. Another season, he's getting another 15 goals, another 15 plus goals. We need that. We need Rodrigo to get in at least 10. I think he's capable of that. I don't see Rodrigo as a 20-goal season guy. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I think he's more of a creator, make things happen, open up space kind of player. That's what I see from Rodrigo. Plus, he can add 10 goals at least. He's more than capable. So yeah, let me see. Nicholas Griffin. Costa might be better in Spain or Italy. To be honest, he's decent, but the Premier's unforgiving. Absolutely. It's just like certain players that move on to Italy. I think Granit Xhaka's going to Roma. May not have worked in the Premier League, but Roma, it will be an absolutely brilliant fit for someone like Granit Xhaka. It's just the way it is. Some leagues are suited for certain players, some aren't. And that's just the way it is for certain players in terms of style of play. You don't get a lot of time on the ball in the Premier League. You really don't. So you have to use your wit quickly. And sometimes Costa just gets bundled off the ball just a little bit too easy for me, And I just remember when Rafinha came in and absolutely lit the place up. Costa came back in for a game, and you're thinking Costa's going to do everything he can to show everybody, don't forget about me. I'm still here. I was the one that cost 16 million. I'm still here. And he did nothing, man. And for me, that is when, that's when you have to just say, maybe this isn't going to work out for you. Talk about teams doing good business. Villa scared the hell out of me, potentially challenging for Europe. When Dio was a hell of a move. Yeah. What it is with Villa, I think at the moment you have to look and just see if they're going to keep Grealish. If they keep Grealish, then what they're doing is superb. Because I think they're also linked with Leon Bailey as well. Brilliant. Just brilliant. That is what you want to see from your club. If you're a Villa fan, you must be absolutely over the moon with the business that Villa are doing. If they keep Grealish to go with that, that's a problem. Villa are looking very good. What I will say is, you know, and I said it on, I think I was on with Tobes, the reliance on Grealish was so heavy that they've addressed that already with Buendia. If they get Leon Bailey, even better. But they need to make sure that they can do it also without Grealish, because you can tell when he's at that team, they're completely different. So, but yeah, Villa are doing good business. Leicester have done good business. That's what's happening now. People's recruitment has gotten better. That's why teams like Spurs and Arsenal have started to fall away, because the recruitment isn't on point at those kind of clubs. As long as you can get your recruitment, it's not about the money you're spending, it's about how you spend the money. It is about that. So, you know, when I hear people say we need a £50 million player, I say, for what? What do you need that for? You know, if you can get players, we got Robin Koch in there, we got Llorente, we got Rafinha. All three of those players cost under 20 million. Would you swap that out for one £50 million player? I wouldn't. It all depends who it is, but I wouldn't swap that. I'd rather get 3 for 60 million than 1 for 50 million and hope for the best. Every transfer is a risk, of course, but that's why we've got Victor Orta at the helm doing our transfers. So yeah, man. Let's just go through. Let's have a look. Watch how we deal with Red Manchester. The first game out. Tyler had a few minutes in his last game. He looked good. Yeah, man. All it is, Bandy, is just more consistency with Tyler Roberts. If we could get a consistent Tyler Roberts behind the striker, because he's not a natural finisher, no way, no how. If we could get that, then we got a really good player on our hands. Very good player. Right. Okay. Right. So coming to the end. If there's any more football comments, just leave them in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, like the video. If you're watching now, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we'll keep it moving. I just want to quickly touch on something NHL. Let me just get the player's name right. I don't want to get this wrong. Luke Prokop became the first openly gay NHL player. Young kid now. He was newly drafted by the Nashville Predators, and he's come out as gay. And in a sports world, never mind just NHL. In the sports world, that's tough for anybody to do. And it's a good thing. Me personally, I always hope that one day there's just going to be no need for announcements. You know, people live how they want to live without it having to be something that they have to announce. But obviously, we're not here right now. I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime. But it's something that I think is a really good thing for the kid, and he can just live his true life now in the league. But then also in NHL, what happened yesterday is a player got drafted after he was found guilty of uploading an explicit content photo of a girl that he was engaging activities with without a permission. That for me is just, I mean, that's the whole problem with NHL. And I say this about NHL because ice hockey should be a sport that a lot of people are watching. When you think about it, you've got guys that are playing on ice. Yeah. They're hitting each other. They're trying to get a puck into a net, and they can fight on the ice. You actually see scraps on the ice. Yeah. That should be a big sport. It should be, but it's not, because it's not marketed very well. And also things like this happen where you've got a kid that shouldn't have been drafted yesterday. He gets drafted, and the organization make excuses for it. Ice hockey's got a long way to go in that. And I wasn't even going to talk about that, but it happened last night. I was just going to say how cool it is that a player's come out and he got a lot of support publicly by the NHL. I just hope that happens in other sports too. And I'm talking about it can be in football, it can be in anything, basketball, whatever it may be, where players just feel free to say what they are and not try and hide behind a facade. So, NHL, you got a lot of work to do though, man, because that same team, Montreal Canadiens, they were trying to get a player in last year who was very checkered past in terms of race relations and just being a general douchebag, so it's always going to be it's always going to be an old boys club in NHL, and it's sad because the product on the ice is so cool. It's just that a lot of the players are boring. Which is another thing. You know, a player can score a hat trick, man, a beautiful hat trick, and they'll come off the ice, and instead of bigging themselves up or saying, "Yo, I just scored a hat trick, I'm this and that," they'll say, "Yeah, it was really cool. My teammates set me up, so thank you to them." Oh my God, you scored a hat trick, man. Show some freaking passion. Let me see. Yeah, Bandy, man. People should be able to do what they want as long as they don't harm anybody. And that's where I am. Like I say, I don't think it's going to be in our lifetime where gay people and people of other genders, whatever it may be, can just go about their business and not have to announce something. But I hope that day comes for that community soon. But yeah, man, as long as people aren't harming anybody, who cares, man? You know what I mean? Live your life, man. Yeah, Brendan, as a Canadian, hockey culture is so damn toxic. It's always why I'm not a big into hockey anymore. Plus the Leafs always screwing up helps move on. Yeah. It is, man. Hockey, and you know, I'm not going to talk about the Blackhawks thing that's happening. If you want to see what's happening with the whole scandal with the Chicago Blackhawks, all you have to do is Google that, and you'll see exactly what Brandon's talking about there in terms of toxic hockey culture. Just put in 2010 Chicago Blackhawks hockey, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's just something for old boys, and that's why the game won't grow. It's why the game won't grow over there. Think about the product where you can have a fight and come back on the ice. Think about that. How is that sport not bigger? It should be bigger, shouldn't it? But it just isn't. So yeah, I mean that's all I want to say. Big up to Luke Prokop and any other person that's, you know, that wants to just come out and live their life the way they want to without trying to hide behind a facade. Do it, man. Do it. And you know, that's it as well on this channel. I don't care what you are, man. Religion, sex. I don't care what it is, man. You're all welcome here. You know, this is a safe space for everybody, man. So, you know, big up to everyone. Listen, I've been going for 57 minutes. I didn't realize I'd be going so long. It's been a lot of fun doing this. I hope everyone's enjoyed it who's tuned in. Like I say, if you're watching the replay, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, man, we'll get some more of these done, man. Brendan, yeah, I'm out. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for joining me, bro. Thank you. It's yeah, and Nicholas, I just want to leave on this point as well. We'll be a lot better off in the goals conceding column this season. Absolutely. The one position that we don't have to worry about is centre backs. We have no issues at centre backs. We have Strike, Llorente, Koch, and Cooper as our 4 options. You can't. That's good enough. That's more than good enough. You know, and especially if they persist with the Strike and Llorente partnership, which was so good when they were together. Yeah, we're more than good. Our goals conceded is going to be way less. So absolutely, we're going to be much better. Let's just hope that the goals going in doesn't dry up, which I don't think it will. I don't think it will at all. But yeah, people, listen, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for tuning in. Like the stream, and I will see you on the next broadcast, whenever that may be. Just look out for it, man. Click the bell on the subscribe button so you know when I'm going live. Like I say, I don't plan all of them. Like today, I was just going to do this as a video, just talking to you about the day. But I just wanted to get anyone else's feedback in regards to the shirts and everything. So yeah, and also if you're watching the replay, leave your comments below what you think about the new shirt. Let me know what you're thinking. So yeah, that's it, people. Peace out.